This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah,
continue.
okay. If you're trying to make something mean in like a combination of explanation,
What do you mean combination of explanation?
like like not necessarily combination, but it's like what people have been using for as a like how do I it's like just what people normally say. It's like no people who normally says in it might not necessarily be the word of the meaning, but it's in phrasing that word, but people use it a lot, so that's why uh it's kind of uh yeah.
Yeah. So you get something. So first of all, you can say an idiom has a metaphor.
Yeah.
So metaphor plus expression. An idiom is a metaphor plus expression. Okay. So an expression is um like overly maybe a cliche or something that's overly used phrase. A phrase a phrase that's used a lot.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
phrase that is used a lot. It's an expression like oh my god. That's an expression. A metaphor, we know what a metaphor is. It's something that stands for something else. And
Yeah.
then we have idiom. So idiom, yeah, has a meta means beyond the meaning, beyond the literal meaning. Okay?
Hmm.
So you're right. It is what people normally say, and people say it a lot. When people
Hmm.
say it a lot, it kind of loses meaning. It loses meaning is called a cliche. Okay,
Yeah.
cliche. So let's put this all in our new idiom section. A cliche is an overly used expression or idea. So when the expression is overly used, we call it a cliche. Okay? Uh, expression that is overly used. A cliche expression that is overly used. So what does it mean? Overly used, meaning like it's losing its meaning over time. Okay,
Hmm.
or it's the maybe it's losing the losing the depth of its meaning. Okay, so why is that important? Why are idioms important? Okay, so we're
Why
talking
are
about
idiom important?
mm,
Mm, because why are idiom important? Mm, let me think. Idiom is important, like a change of the word.
sorry.
Like let's say if you're trying to explain something like in in multiple times, you could use different types of explanation that make the passage more interesting.
Okay, well, yeah, different kinds of explanations can make the passage more interesting. Um, so we're talking about yeah, so how to best um convey meaning. Yeah. So in one sense, we must use rhetoric.
Hmm.
In the other sense, we must use discourse. Remember like the difference between rhetoric and discourse?
Rhetoric and discourse.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So we have
No. No.
rhetorical. We have rhetorical devices. So you're gonna be the literary analyzer this time, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So you know what rhetorical devices, figurative speech, literary devices. These are all the same thing, right? You know what they are, right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Sorry.
Remember?
Yeah.
Right? So there's
Yeah.
like a whole list of these that you have to know. And these are
Yeah.
what you're looking for. So the reason why we have to use these things is because let's just I'm gonna give you like a primer about again what is it that we're doing when we are analyzing literature when we're supposed to analyze this book talking about Kim Kim's experience out of the Vietnam War
Yeah.
um because we're trying to explain some meaning. Okay, wait. Um, so Kim here is trying to talk about her ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, first of all, do you lie to yourself?
Do I like myself?
Yeah, do people lie to themselves?
Oh, lie. Okay, sorry. I
Yeah,
thought you said like.
lie. Do we lie to
Yeah.
ourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, we lie
Yeah.
to ourselves all the time, like we look in the mirror and we think we're not that ugly or something, or maybe or like yeah, we lie to ourselves all the time, right? So the question is like, can we even access our own mind, right? So even there, we are biased
Okay.
when we're talking to ourselves, right? So we're supposed to reflect, right?
Yes.
So reflection is thinking. But even there, we are limited and we can't we kind of lie to ourselves sometimes. So we should tell ourselves the truth, in some sense. So that why should we tell ourselves the truth?
Why should we tell ourselves the truth?
Uh-huh.
Because
About our own life.
the only way we can uh the only way we can mm, so that we know the situation happening,
Uh-huh.
which
So that we know the
for
exact
some
situation.
issues we will not fall for it.
So that what?
Like
We're not talking
mm,
about other people lying to us. We're talking about why should we tell ourselves the truth?
yeah, I mean, isn't it like because like sometimes when like I guess situation happens, you kind of lie to yourself that either like it's okay or things like that, which is like not good, which things are not okay.
Well, the problem, like, let's say you got a F on your test, and then you lie to yourself and you say, "Oh, it's because the teacher didn't do his job or something." Like
Yeah.
you say the teacher didn't do his job, but like, I mean, the thing is, like, teachers don't really care either, right? Like, I mean, the teacher's just like, whatever. Here's a test, and then you lie to yourself. Oh, the teacher's does not doing his job. Okay, fine. Even if you're like right that the teacher is not doing his job, like it's still like the responsibility is still yours at the end of the day. Like you still have to study for the test, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the teacher, he gives you like homework or something. Let's say he's like a very bad teacher and all he does is like give you some homework and give you a practice test and like gives you one lecture. Does the bare minimum. He's the minimum teacher, you know? And then you get an F on you fail the test. Let's say he's a boring, but he's still doing the basic job of teaching. Like he does the minimum and he's boring and you fail the test. Like actually, I do that to myself. Like I said like, oh, like in math tests when I was in grade 6, my grade 6 math teacher
Grade
hated me.
six.
I make up a story about myself, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
like in grade 6, my math teacher, and then my grade 7 math teacher, and then all the math teachers after that, like I don't know. I'm just saying like, oh, the reason why I'm not good at math is because of this. I blame it on other people or something, and then at the end of the day, I'm not good at math, and now I'm an
Mhm.
adult or something. But like, it's still my responsibility at the end of the day to like learn 1 + 1 = 2. It's still my responsibility to like learn calculus. Like at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I can blame my grade 6 teacher and then say, oh, he brought me on a bad trajectory, and then but that's like it's like so long ago, right? Like it's just funny. So the point is that we lie to ourselves. So why should we tell the truth? Is so that if we keep lying to ourselves, then we'll keep getting an F and an F and an F, right?
Yep.
We'll continue. We'll continue to fail. So the
Yep.
reason why we should tell the truth is so that we can improve. And like I have some students that like come up with excuse after excuse after excuse. You know?
Okay.
Like oh, I didn't do it because of the thing the other day, and that was also an excuse for the other time, and then there was an excuse for the other time. And then the excuses are gonna build up, you know?
Mhm.
And okay, so the reason why we should tell ourselves the truth is so that we can improve, so that we can do better in the future. Um, okay, so that's the first thing. The thing is that okay, so we should tell ourselves the truth. Okay, so then there's other people. Okay, then we talk to other people, and people also have a tendency to lie as well in politics, right?
Okay.
So what? So people, why do people lie? So like, do you remember the story of Socrates?
Socrates?
Yeah. Okay, this guy. You remember this guy? We talked about him or no?
I don't think we talked about this
Okay,
guy.
so let's. We might have talked something. I mean, I definitely use his ideas all the time. So anyway, so this is the first like philosophy guy. He's like the first thinking guy. Okay.
Mhm.
Why is he the first thinking guy? Mm, because in his society, um, let's say, this is a good picture. So there's this old guy. I don't know if that's Socrates, but whatever. I think this is an AI image, but whatever. Um, someone tells him that he's the smartest guy in the city. Okay, in the whole city. All right,
Mhm.
he's the smartest guy. And so, if Kevin, if I told you you're the smartest guy in Toronto, would you believe me?
I don't think so.
No. So what would you do if someone tells you that?
I would suspect that you're lying to me.
Or okay, that's related to our conversation. So what Socrates did was he tested the theory. Okay?
Mhm.
So how can you test the idea that you're the smartest guy?
How can you test the idea that you're the smartest guy?
Yeah.
Good question. Mm, how? Well, I mean, can you?
Is it testable?
No.
Okay, so what you did was you questioned the question,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Questioned the question. Very good that you did that. So you can. That's part of the test, in fact. So you question the question first of all. Okay. So good. Can you say that I'm the smartest guy? What does smart mean, even? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Those are good questions. So basically, how Socrates he tested it is through dialogue. You see, dialogue. What he did was he went and talked to all the old smart guys in his land. Okay, he talked to all of them. Are you with me?
Yep. Yep.
So he talks to everybody and he says, I don't know, he just questions. He does what? He questions the question. And at this time, everybody, all of the different people, they have different kinds of theories.
Okay.
Some guy says everything is made of fire. Some guy says no, everything is made of water. Some guy says Zeus made everything. Some guy says everything is always changing. Some guy says everything is always stable. They all have these theories for why we are here and what's going on. Okay? They all have these answers. Right? But
Yep.
what does Socrates do? He just asks questions the question. He just keeps questioning. He says, why? 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 Have you ever had a little kid or something, someone ask you a question like why, over and over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens when you keep doing that?
They get not mad, like
Who gets
not
mad?
happy, not
Who gets
happy.
mad?
The person that get asked
Yeah. Why do they get mad?
because it's annoying.
Why is it annoying?
Why?
Uh-huh.
Because it's annoying. Why is it annoying? It is annoying because you're asking something over and over again.
Well, it's not the same question over and over again. You ask why for one level of the questioning, and then you ask why for another level of the questioning, and then you ask why for another level of questioning. So it's annoying because you have to think too much. Okay, it's frustrating.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's
Mhm.
also frustrating because at some point you're not going to know the answer. You just say, "God did it. Leave me alone." Get it?
Okay. Yes.
Like the little kid says, "Oh, why did bananas come from trees? Oh, because they plant the trees." So why do they plant the trees? Oh, because they, I don't know, they're going to try to make money. So why are they trying to make money? Oh, because I don't know the economic system. Oh, why? Like
Mhm.
so you can just keep doing that forever. And at some point you're just like, "Well, God did it. Leave me alone." Right? Boy, Shema. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, exactly. That's exactly what happened. Everybody got angry at him. Okay.
Yeah.
All these
Okay.
people got angry at him. Why they get angry at him? Because if you keep asking why, you realize that none of these people actually know what they're talking about. Everything's made of fire. Everything has come from Zeus. Everything blah 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 blah. They all have BS stories, kind of. Do you guys
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
So why do they all have BS stories?
Why?
Uh-huh.
Well,
BS.
they all have BS story. Why do they all have BS story? That's a good question. I don't know why do they all have BS stories.
Well, because it gives them power, right? All these people,
Yeah.
they have powerful positions in societies because of their stories. Like this guy, he controls the temple of Zeus or something, and that guy, people come in, give him, so there's all these gurus. You know gurus?
Gurus?
Yeah, guru. A guru is just like someone who a very like religiously important person, but right now I'm using it like an Instagram guru. Like everybody on Instagram, it's like, oh, buy my stuff, like follow my way of doing things because I'm the correct way of doing things, right?
Hmm?
everybody says follow my way of doing things because I'm the correct way of doing things. You get it?
Yes.
So, okay, so everybody gets angry at him. So they put him on trial. So it's called the trial and death of Socrates. Okay, are you listening?
Yes.
So the reason why they tried to kill him is because they said he was corrupting the youth. Corrupting the youth. Okay.
Okay.
How did Socrates corrupt the youth? Okay. Why was he corrupting the youth? By just asking questions, just saying why. Then people don't believe in God anymore. They don't believe in Zeus anymore.
Okay.
Okay, because you're asking too many questions, and like why does he have thunder? I don't know. Like any question you ask about this guy, you're gonna start to realize it's just a Shenhua, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but your whole society, their whole tradition is based on these stories. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So Socrates is questioning all of these stories. You get it?
Yes.
So that's why it's called corrupting the youth. And then, so anyways, because of that, Socrates was condemned to death. Okay?
Okay.
And because he was condemned to death, then there's a whole question about why he could have run away, because actually a lot of the town actually liked him too. Like a lot of the people, like these guys all like him, right? They're all his students, right? So basically, a good portion of Athens actually likes him, right? The people with power don't really like him because he's like questioning everything, right?
Yes.
But his students like him because he's making them think. But at the end of the day, so he's given this poison, and he drinks the poison. He voluntarily drinks the poison. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he was in a trial, and at the trial, he lost the trial, basically.
Okay.
And as a result, the judges of the trial, they told him he has to drink the poison. And even though his friends said you could just run away from the city and be free somewhere else, he chooses to drink the poison instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Do you remember Plato's cave?
Yeah. Yes.
So Plato's cave was kind of that
Same
story.
idea.
Well, Plato is a student of Socrates, right?
Yeah.
So Socrates, he left the cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then he still chooses to come back and drink the poison
Potion of poison. Sorry.
because of his loyalty to the cave in a way.
Uh-huh.
You get it? I mean, like he cares about the whole society.
Yes.
That's what this idea was. Even though he was free, he came back in the cave and drank the poison.
Yes.
You with me?
Yes.
So he self-sacrifices.
Yes.
So for him, okay, so what's he doing here? He's sacrificing himself to remind people to come out and see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? Because like that's the story of his life. The story of his life became a reminder that people should go out and see the truth, but also come back and be loyal to the cave itself, in a way. So it's a double kind of story. You get it?
Hmm?
Because Socrates went out and sees the whole truth. So, what is the light of the sun represent again? Do you remember?
The source of information.
Well, anything can be an information source. Anything that reflects light can be an information
Yeah,
source.
that it's like raw information, right?
Um, I think of it more not as raw information. I think of it as what's the difference between knowledge and information?
Knowledge and information. Information is not processed, but knowledge is something that people processed already.
Yeah, so knowledge is something that people process. So this is more knowledge than information, because the truth is something that you have to process. It's something that you have to discover. It's like a slow discovery process. You have to this is a whole processing, right? This is all processing. Turning around in the cave, right? The turning point in the cave, right? That's a processing. This is all processing. So this is not raw information. This is more like a hard, difficult task of digesting and processing information. Okay. So another way that maybe we can make a distinction is, what's the difference between the light of the sun and the light of the fire?
Light of the sun and the light of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Light of the sun and the light of fire. Well, light of fire is something that people already processed and like given back to you again. So it may contain.
Both are processed. Both are processed.
Oh, okay. Both are processed.
Yeah.
I thought
Everything
the
is knowledge.
light of the sun is more like it's more like it's more like how do you say it's more like raw information.
The thing is, like, do you have access? Like, what is raw info? Like, there is no raw information. Like, your brain, right? When it's looking at something, it's always doing some processing.
Yep.
You know? So you never have like access to full. That's what the whole water in the cup
Allegory
thing is.
mean?
Sorry?
Oh yeah.
The water in the
Nothing.
cup thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't judge like your senses directly. You know, that's what we if we could judge from our senses directly, then we don't really have to think that much. But the problem is that our senses don't give us like raw information, right? Even your senses have to process information. So everything is kind of processed. Okay. So try to think about other just look at the symbols themselves. Just the sun and the fire, and you can just from the sun and the fire we can just try to make out what's the differences between the two. Just look at the symbol. Just look at the actual analogy by itself. What's the difference between the sun and a fire? Just be simple.
The sun is outside of the cave.
That's one difference.
The sun shows human all the information around.
And the sun and the fire, what does it do?
It only show one glimpse of the information.
Like something like that. So the sun, the rays of the sun. These are the rays, right? The rays. Get it?
Yep.
The rays of the sun go everywhere and all time and space. You get it? The rays of the sun go everywhere, all time. This is universal truth. And this one, the cave, only lights up the cave. So it's kind of like one perspective. Right? Are you with me?
Yes.
So, the light of the fire is only one perspective. The light of the rays of the sun are kind of like all perspectives.
Okay. Yep.
So this is the same as TOK. I mean, in TOK we learn like the danger of a single story, right? When you're telling history and you only have one timeline,
That's dangerous.
yeah, I mean, is there ever really one timeline? It's like one timeline is like the British point of view, usually. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yes.
British timeline. First this happened, then this happened, then this happened. But in reality, we are looking at many, many different timelines, many, many different points of view. Most of them are deleted.
Mhm.
Who deletes the
The people that win.
yeah, the winners of war, right? The winners of war tell the story. So they're the ones who get to tell us which timeline it is. But actually, the real historian, the job of the real historian, and that's why we can say like diversity is important, right? Like not the kind of diversity that they're telling us everywhere. The kind of diversity they're telling us everywhere is kind of like that's a single story. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the diversity that they tell us, that all the people are telling us, the annoying kind of diversity, the one that are like, oh, be diverse, don't be racist, like the one that you hear everywhere. But yeah, sure, obviously don't be racist and stuff, but like, it's the boring just words, right? The just word version of diversity. That kind of diversity, they're like saying, oh, everyone must agree with diversity. If you're saying everyone must agree with diversity, you're making a single story.
Yes.
I say no, not everyone must agree with diversity. Explain why diversity of timelines is important, and people will naturally understand that having a diverse timeline is a thicker, better timeline than enforcing everybody to follow the same story. Is that crazy? So you see what I'm doing here? I'm saying like diversity is important, yes. But like if you enforce the diversity, what you're doing is you're enforcing a single story. And if you're enforcing a single story, then you're losing the diversity again. Right? So now I'm going on a political tangent, but like everyone is like racially diverse, but they all say the same stuff. Like that's the problem with the diversity. Anyway, so in TOK, we learned that multiple perspectives is very important. Multiple perspective. Why is multiple perspectives very important?
Because with multiple perspective, we can actually see we can maybe not actually see the full thing, but we can see more than a single perspective.
Yeah, that's why we're trying towards the sun. We are always just trying towards the sun. We never really, like getting there, like we are only half the sun, You're right. We never have the full perspective, but we should be open, right?
For the full perspective.
We should be open. But the thing is, just like we lie to ourselves, right? We lie to ourselves. We don't want to see. Forget about the whole truth. We don't even know the whole truth of our own life, right? We barely look at the full perspectives of our own brain. even in our own brain, we cut off the perspective that's hard, that's uncomfortable, the uncomfortable truth. Right? I said, what happens when you ask yourself why? You get frustrated, you get tired. Okay? You should do that to yourself first, right? Why? Do the why thing to yourself, and you will get frustrated. You will get tired, but guess what? You'll be smarter at the end of the day too, because you're working out. You're working out your brain, and you're asking yourself why. Okay, so we can't get to the so we're trying to get to the multi-perspective, but we can't. On the one hand, we have to try. On the other hand, we have to acknowledge our limitation. Acknowledging our limitation is called qualify. Qualify. That's a good word, right? Do you have this word? Do you know this word? Qualify?
Qualify?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a writing rule. So writing, when we're doing our essays, we should always say what we don't know. On the one hand, okay? Let's just talk about the two writing rules for a second. On the one hand, the writing rule is say what you don't know, and on the other one is talk about what you do know. Say what you know. That's the rule. Say what you know and don't know. Say what you know and don't know. That's the rule, okay? What do you mean? What do I mean? Say what you know is talk about what you know. I only care about what Kevin thinks about. I don't care what ChatGPT thinks. You know? That's the point I'm telling all my students right now. Like, I don't care what ChatGPT thinks. Say what you know. It's just you're showing your thinking. It's just only Kevin's brain. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we're doing when we're talking about dialogue. So the other idea is don't know. Say what you don't know is say your limitations. In your essay, we can say, I'm not going to talk about this, this, and this because that's going to require a book, and I can only write an essay right now, like that. You get what I'm saying? That's what usually is. You have to clarify the scope. Remember scope? Remember
Yep.
scope. Okay. So that's the significance of scope and perspective. Okay, so we go back to the story of Plato. He's the guy who gave us this analogy, right? This whole allegory of the cave. And Plato is a student of who?
Plato is a student of what was his name? Socrates.
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 Okay?
Yeah.
So remember, Socrates, the guy who killed himself because the people he was criticizing told him to kill himself, right? Socrates killed himself. Isn't that crazy? Like the people that Socrates was criticizing told him to kill himself, so he did. Why? Okay. Remember, the other people. So let me just draw. This is Socrates. Okay. Okay, that's Socrates. So I don't know why he has two. Okay, that's Socrates. So Socrates goes and so we have one thing. We have monologue. So log is what?
Log.
Mono is what?
Mono is multiple.
No, mono is one.
Oh, mono is one. Sorry.
Multi is multiple. Multi, yeah. Right? Mono is one, and log. Remember, log or logi is?
Yes.
What is it?
Logical means like. Logic means skill, thinking.
No, that was technology. So technology is techne plus logic. That's technology. That's skill. So techne is skill. And logic is... So what is logic? Logic is this one, okay? Logic is the sun. Logic is the sun. Okay? In the Plato's analogy, logic is the sun. Why is logic the sun? Because all of these rays, let's say these rays are like thesis. Okay? These are all thesis. These are all arguments. These are all points of views. Okay? So logic is the one way of doing logic is like thesis, antithesis, or counter thesis. And do you remember this one? Thesis, counter thesis, and what? Synthesis. Do you remember? Yeah. Okay. So one person has an argument. Remember this one? Cats are better than dogs. Remember? And then the counter argument is what?
Dog is better than cat?
Yeah, dogs are better than cats. And then the synthesis is, well, cats are good for some people and dogs are good for some people, or something like that. Okay? So this process is how we get to the truth. And then this synthesis becomes our new thesis for the next one. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we keep doing that. So we keep doing that. So you see, you need one perspective. You need one perspective, one of these rays. And then you need another perspective, another one of these rays, in order to get the third ray. Do you get it?
Yes.
So all of these. So the only way to get to the truth, right, the big T truth, is through this logical process of smashing perspectives into each other.
Yep.
Do you get it?
Yep.
So we can do that in two ways. We can do that in a monologue in our own head by challenging ourselves, right? By smashing one perspective and another perspective and another perspective and another perspective. That's called monologue. You with me?
Yes.
So that's this one. Look, the snake eating itself, right? So that's it's kind of a thinking process. Or we can do like this one. This is a dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue. So dialogue means to what?
Dialogue means to information.
What do you mean? You're saying information for everything. You're saying information for
No.
knowledge.
It's like
Information for everything is information anyway. So
well, I mean,
die means what? Dia.
what does dia mean?
Dia and log. Die means
Is
two.
log logic?
Yeah,
And
logic
dia is
is two. Okay?
two?
Mono is one. Dia is two.
Okay.
So, monologue is me thinking by myself and talking.
Monologue is like one perspective.
Well, monologue can be multiple perspectives in your mind, right? Your mind is capable of more than one perspective, right?
Yep.
So it can still be multiple perspectives in your own mind. But a dialogue is two people talking. You get it?
Yes.
Now, a dialogue. So let's go back. So we said, what's the difference between? So actually, I should say, what's the difference between rhetoric and dialogue? Discourse, or we say dialogue. Okay, you with me?
Yes.
So the difference between, now we're trying to say, what's the difference between rhetoric and dialogue? Dialogue or monologue. So rhetoric are, okay, so do you remember Caesar?
Caesar, yeah.
Caesar's death? Did we talk about it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What do you remember from this? The death of Caesar?
The death of Caesar?
Yeah. Do you remember anything about this?
No.
You don't remember
Was it
anything? Say something. Yeah, anything.
Did we talk about it?
We might have. You might have heard of Shakespeare.
Like
You know,
the different expression of each person.
what was it about? Why did they kill Caesar? You don't remember?
No.
Okay, so Caesar, the Roman Empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, took a lot of stuff, took a lot of land from people. Yes.
Yep.
And then at some point, so Caesar goes to like different places, and the story is that Caesar, he adopted a son named Brutus. Okay.
Okay.
And Brutus was a guy, I think he was from like a civilization that Caesar conquered, and he was like a little boy, and he raised him up as his own son. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes an aristocrat, or he becomes a nobility of the Roman Empire. Okay?
Yep.
So what is the nobility of the Roman Empire? the Roman Empire is part of a tradition. The tradition of this one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the Parthenon? Do you know?
Parthenon?
Yeah, this one. Have you seen this building before?
Is it like the god?
It's a temple.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same time kind of an amphitheater. Okay, they have a tradition called of the amphitheater. Do you remember? Did we talk about the amphitheater and the secret of English?
Yeah, like they put people in there fight the. It's like how do you say it? Like they fight the. Oh, what do they? Or they fight the animals and stuff.
Okay, yeah, in the Colosseum, in the Roman Colosseum, they fight. But the
Yeah.
thing is, fighting, okay, and law and drama
Mm-hmm.
are really the same thing. Why is drama, fighting, and the law the same thing? And debate, also debate.
Because
Why
they
are-
are all conflicts.
Yeah, they're all okay. Yeah, so drama at that time was very important, right? Drama is like the story of our civilization, like the important stories, right? It's it's kind of like the news in a way.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it works better than the news because drama kind of like mixes news and mythology a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you understand like drama is very important at that time, right?
Yes.
So they use these amphitheaters to kind of debate. They debate about what is right, what is the law, right? This is the same place where like Socrates debates. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it's all about kind of like democracy. The democracy is, or like one of the ideals of democracy is that we are able to, by fighting, by using dialogue, right? We can get at the truth, or we can get at the answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so that's the tradition. So that's the ideal. Okay, are you listening? That's the ideal. That's not necessarily the case. It's the ideal. Do you know what ideal means?
Ideal means the very optimistic assumption.
Perspective. Yeah. The very good. Ideal is the optimistic assumption. Very good. So that's the ideal. The ideal is that we can come together and we can talk. But the thing is, even in the ideal, we have some realism. The realism on the ideal is that when you go out and you speak in the public space,
Mm-hmm.
your heart and your soul and your brain are on the table. You know what that means? On the table? That's an expression. What does it mean on the table?
On the table.
Yeah, on the table. You put your heart on the line, it's called. It's expression. Let's put that expression down in our idioms. Heart on the line. Write it down. Heart on the
Art on the line. It's
line.
like you put everything to bet for something. Like you really desperately bet for something.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess that's what the modern romantic perspective of it is. But I think of it more as your brain, your heart, your lung, what you say, your word is on the line. Because if you say something in the public space that people don't like, you could die. Right? Someone can come and stab you afterwards if they don't like what you say. You get it?
Yep.
So it's dangerous. Speaking is dangerous. To speak in the public sphere, speaking is dangerous. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like if you are speaking, you are also ready to die. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's why not Jesus. Socrates, he kills himself. Right? Because
Yes.
he was willing to die for the words that he was saying. Okay?
Yes.
Now, let's contrast that with the type of leaders that we have, the kind of politicians that we have today with the politicians of the past. the politicians of the past, in order to become the leader, they had to, be the first one in the battle, right?
Yes.
And all their soldiers are behind them. Okay. Today, is the politician the first one to go to war?
No.
No, the politician usually is the last one, and he has a microphone, and he said, "You guys go first." Right?
Yes.
So today's politician, they send the soldiers first. In the past, right? These are the soldiers. Okay?
They go out first.
Well, in the past, the ideal was that a leader was willing to die as well
Mm-hmm.
for his society, right? Today, the leaders are not willing to die for their society, right?
Yes.
Or I don't know, maybe they're out. They should be, I don't know. But for the most part, I mean, they're corrupt and... Anyway. So, okay, so that's the idea of the amphitheater. So that's the tradition, okay? So the amphitheater, we go from the Greek amphitheater to the Roman amphitheater. This is the Roman amphitheater. And then we have the, let's say, the Shakespearean amphitheater, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is actually all part of the same tradition, okay? So,
Okay.
and in fact, Shakespeare writes a play about this tradition, kind of, right?
He did?
Which is, yeah, I mean, he does it all the time. It's Caesar. He wrote Julius Caesar. Shakespeare wrote Julius Caesar, retelling this story that I'm telling you about Brutus and Shakespeare, okay? So let's watch it for a second. I'm going to use the washroom while I show this clip for you.
Okay.
So it's very bloody, okay?
Yeah.
Watch out. Let's see here. Are you with me?
Yes.
Oh, let me put Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great Caesar.
Can you hear it?
I know, I have not
Yes.
forgotten.
If I may, gracious Caesar, you were going to consider revoking my brother's exile.
I'm still considering it. Take your hand off me.
So 1 second, I'll be right back. You watch it.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? No! No! No!
Get off me!
Sorry, it's really bloody.
Do it.
Okay. So this is the big moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that his son, right, his loyal son,
Mm-hmm.
also participates in the killing of Caesar.
Okay.
Alright?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a father-son conflict.
Yep. I mean, or is he like forced to do it?
So there's a big debate. Did he do the right thing, or so the idea was that Caesar was like, so this is one version of telling the story. I'm going to tell you in the more mythological Shenhua way, right?
Yep. Yep.
The idea is that Caesar was fighting all these guys, and he didn't give up fighting until he saw his son, and he
Mhm.
said, "Oh no, son, you are fighting me too?" And then he gives up right when he notices that his son is also not his real son, his like stepson, right? Is also the one he trusted the most, right?
Yep.
Is also participating. What?
Caesar is strong though. He can fight so many people.
Yeah, but these are like 20 guys, man. You can't fight. Okay?
Oh, they're like old and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I mean, doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you have 4 guys fighting you. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It's 4 guys. Anyway,
Yeah.
this isn't what's that Korean movie? That one guy fighting everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Old Boy. You see Old
There's
Boy?
like so many Korean movie that has like one guy flying so many.
Yeah,
people.
but this one's like a really realistic one. You didn't see it? It's not just
Old
one.
Boy?
Yeah, it's a really good movie. This is a really bloody movie. I highly recommend because they do it like really realistically. Like if one guy was to beat 20 guys,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in a real way, that's how it's done here. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, this is the scene where he beats up a bunch of guys by
Mhm.
himself. Anyway, that's just like a funny. Okay, anyway, so so they used. So okay, why do they kill him? So first of all, before we talk about that, let's talk about illusion. You know what illusion means?
Illusion?
Yeah.
Illusion, yeah. I know what illusion means.
What is it?
Illusion is like when you see something that doesn't really exist.
No, that's illusion.
Oh,
We're talking about illusion.
Illusion.
Illusion is a literary device that you should be learning because you are the rhetoric specialist. One of them is called illusion. Okay?
Yep.
What is it? Do you know?
Illusion.
Here.
Oh, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
It's basically a meme.
Yeah.
So let me show you the meme of this. This death of Caesar is found everywhere. What's his name? John Snow. Yeah, not Rob Snow.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a modern show, okay?
Lord Commander,
Can you see
one
it?
of the wildlings you brought back says he knows your Uncle
Yep.
Benjamin. Says he's still alive.
Are you sure he's talking about Benjamin?
Said he was first ranger.
Be right back.
Said he knows where to find him.
Man says he saw your uncle at Hardhome the last full moon.
Could be lying.
Could be. There are ways to find out.
Where is he?
Over there. For the watch. For the watch. For the watch. For the watch. For the watch.
Okay, look, do you see?
Yeah.
Ole. So this guy's the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of has an adopted son too in this show. You see the allusion?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ole. No. Don't do it, my boy.
For the watch.
Is this? Wait, is this
Game of Thrones.
is this how do you say it? Is this from the Iron wait, what do you call it? The
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yes, Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Is it
What?
from the Game of Thrones?
Yeah. So I'm saying Game of Thrones uses an allusion of Caesar. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's called allusion. Okay. So why is Plato's cave important? Because it's the oldest allusion.
Okay.
Oldest allusion. We can find some idea of Plato's cave in probably every story. Okay? There's always some sort of symbolic cave. Symbolic cave in every story. You with me? Hello? Where'd you go, Kevin?
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So, a symbolic cave. This is symbolic cave. Do you get it? This is the oldest illusion. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So in every story, there's also you can find some sort of cave as a symbolic reference to this Plato's cave story. You can try to make you can find it everywhere. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the importance of allusion as a literary if you're focusing on literary devices, allusion is a very important one. So let's go back to why they killed Caesar. Okay, so in the Roman Senate, they debate, right?
Yeah.
What are they debating about?
Law. Policy.
They're debating laws, policies, and stuff like that. So at this time, the Caesar, was the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other group of people are the nobility. Okay, they're like the rich people. Why are they the nobility? Because they own land. Okay.
Okay.
And so Caesar, in part of why he's a really good general, is that he gives land to poor people and to his army. Okay? He gives the land from basically the land that could have been belonging to the nobility, he gives it to the poor people and the soldiers. Are you with me?
Yes.
So everybody likes him, but the nobility doesn't like him. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So just watch this clip for a second, and you can see.
Fellow members of the Roman Senate, hear me. Shall we continue to build palace after palace for the rich? Or shall we aspire to a more noble purpose and build decent housing for the poor? How does the Senate vote?
Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Okay. This is just a joke, okay?
Decent housing for the poor. How does the Senate vote? Fuck the poor!
Fuck the poor.
It's just a joke, okay? But
Yes.
this is
Fuck
from a
the
comedy
poor.
show. It's from a comedy show, but it's kind of makes the point, okay?
Mhm.
All right. that why there's a conflict between Caesar and the nobility. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of showing. But the thing is, what I'm doing right now is I'm telling the story from a certain perspective, right? I'm telling you from a pro Caesar kind of perspective. You understand?
Yes.
You can also look at it from another perspective, from the legal side, and say, no, really, like, what's his name? The king was taking too much power, and he was actually taking too much power, and so there's another way of looking at this story as well. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the debate
Yes.
about Caesar. That debate will also happen with Napoleon, and will also happen with Stalin, and a bunch of other people in history. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So, okay. So we go back to all of this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we say. So that's like the big history of what we're talking about. We're talking about kind of two ways. So the other thing that we're talking about is rhetoric. So after this guy dies,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a big debate. Okay, you with me?
Yes.
And so all the people, these are all the people, they're all angry that Caesar is dead. Okay? And this is Brutus, his son, that kills Caesar. Right? So everybody is angry that Caesar is dead, but everyone knows that Caesar is also his son, or Brutus is also Caesar's son. So they like Brutus.
But Brutus killed him, right?
But Brutus killed him, right? So everybody's confused.
Oh, okay.
So now he has to have a debate, he has to have a speech, and he has to talk to the masses. Okay? Now, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is a big debate in class. In history. It's a big debate in history. So what's he doing right now? What's going on? Why is everybody yelling?
Why is everybody yelling?
Mm-hmm.
He's announcing like a new rulement.
Okay, this is right after Caesar died. So Caesar is dead.
Yeah.
Probably in there. Okay? Caesar's
In
dead.
there. Okay.
Okay, and people just found out about it. So everybody came in here to find out what's wrong.
Everybody is mad.
Yeah, they're all angry. Okay? You say, you killed Caesar. Boo! Like, why did you kill Caesar? Okay, so that's what he's doing. Now, what's Brutus doing? What's he doing? This is Brutus.
He's telling people like, "Oh, don't be mad."
Yeah, he has to deal with the crowd.
Yes.
Okay, he has to deal with the mob. The mob, if he doesn't convince the mob, right, they could attack him.
Yes.
Okay? So he has to convince the mob. He has to persuade the mob.
So I have a question. Did he did all of that for his like own good?
Well, that's a part of the debate, right? You have to listen to him, and you have to, that's like part of the big debate. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So some people say that, again, it's because Caesar took too much power and he was trying to save the Republic. Save the Republic. The Republic is the idea that there's a group of people and they all vote on stuff. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other group said, so he did it to save the Republic, and because Caesar was taking too much power. The other group says Caesar was taking too much power so that he could help the poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
yes.
This Republic is here. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Yes.
So this debate actually is like ongoing, and all the time. It's happening all the time, everywhere. You know,
Yep.
and a version of this debate is happening in like every country today, and like, that's why this kind of debate is so important. Have you seen the movie Parasite? Another Korean
How
movie.
I eat? No, I didn't.
I think you might know about it from the pictures. Do you know this one? Parasite?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you should watch it. You didn't watch it? You heard
Like
about
I
it.
watched it before. Yeah, no, I watched it.
Okay, yeah. So Parasite is like kind of an argument like this, right? Like that the nobility class are kind of good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you see, this debate is happening everywhere. You get what I'm saying? And it's in different ways, right?
Yes.
So okay, that's one of the things that we do in IBTOK. We take one concept, like this Julius Caesar concept of republic versus, this is called like dictatorship of the dictatorship of the proletariat. So dictatorship by the poor people, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. So, like, what's better, to have a dictatorship for the poor people, or to have like an aristocracy that takes care of everybody, but at the same time the aristocracy votes like F the poor, you know? So, there's always a debate. Okay, you get it? Okay, so now the people here, are they all smart?
Yeah. No.
No, they're just normal people. Okay?
Yes.
So normal people, they are convinced not by dialogue, okay, but by rhetoric. Okay? So rhetoric and dialogue. What's the difference? Dialogue is the long, frustrating process of self-reflection and trying to find the truth and coming out of the cave and getting out of your comfort zone. And it's very difficult, long and hard process of getting to the truth. You get it?
Yep.
Rhetoric is kind of like entertainment. We make things cool, we make things interesting. We use puns, we make people laugh. We are using the different kinds of persuasion, logos, ethos, pathos, and kairos. Do you remember this one?
Kairos.
Do you remember these four?
Yeah.
Ethos, pathos.
I don't remember Cairo though. I know like etho, patho, logo, but
Yeah, kairos is the one that means the correct time. So chronology. So the idea is, if you're going to if you're gonna like ask your mom for a PlayStation 10, do you do it right after, when do you do it? Do you do it when she's angry, or do you do it when she's happy?
Happy.
Yeah, so you have to ask the question at the right time. Okay, it means right time.
Okay.
So it's about timing. So if you want to change somebody's mind, so what's ethos and pathos again?
Ethos and pathos. Ethos and pathos is etho is credibility, or is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, etho is
credibility.
credibility, and then pathos is emotion.
Yeah, feelings or emotions. So
Feelings.
credibility, or we also have like relationship, or sorry, credibility or trust, or we could say also morality.
Okay.
Okay. So Dao and Guanxi kind of are ethos. Okay. Then we have logos. Again, logos, there are two types of logos. One type of logos is the sun. and the other type of logos is the fire. Okay, you with me?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna lie to someone, if you want to lie to someone, what's better? To tell them a lie or to tell them a half-truth?
Half-truth.
Right? A half-truth works better than a lie. Why?
Because half-truth. Why is half-truth better than a lie? Because half-truth doesn't make people angry.
Sorry?
I said like because half-truth people will believe it, and
Yeah, it's easier to believe a half-truth, right? So if I say more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarettes, this is a kind of logos argument, right? It's a logical argument. You get what I mean?
yes.
But it's it's kind of like an incomplete logical argument. Yes, more doctors do smoke Camels than other cigarettes. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's not a lie, right? It's not a lie. It could be the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea here, the half truth here is that Camel cigarettes are healthy. You get it?
Yes.
Healthier than all, even if it's true, if you could say Camel cigarettes are healthier than every other cigarette, right? It doesn't make any sense. Or we also have the 25% off sugar. 25% less sugar. Remember this one?
Doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so 25% less sugar than what? 25% less sugar than this thing of sugar. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
This one, it says no sugar. Oh, but we put chemicals in it. We replace the sugar with the chemicals. Great. I'd rather have the sugar than the chemicals, I think. You know? So that's what Diet Coke is, right? Like Diet Coke says, oh, there's no sugar in this. Oh, thank you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like kind of a half truth. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's easier. So do you understand the difference between rhetoric and dialogue? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to establish the difference between rhetoric and dialogue. But the thing is, we kind of have to use rhetoric, right? Like if I want to make my points to you, I use like Marvel references or something because it makes things easier. Like I can tell the whole story of Julius Caesar or something, or I can just do a simple version with Marvel, and most people are more interested in like a fun story than the complicated story, right?
Yep.
So in that sense, so in Plato's cave, what happens in Plato's cave? Another version of the story, or my understanding of the story, is the guy comes back down here, tries to change people's minds. It doesn't work, so he becomes one of these guys. So he makes an app, and the app says, don't use TikTok.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So everybody's on their phone, so he tries to make like a meditation app or something, or he tries to make an app that says, go outside. The Get Grass, or what's it called? Was it Get Grass? No.
Yeah, get grass.
No, it's Touch Grass.
Touch grass.
Yeah, so Touch Grass. The Touch Grass app. Okay, like the simulation of touching grass or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes back in here and he has to use rhetoric to speak to the people that are addicted to not thinking. They don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to do the hard work of turning around and thinking for themselves. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can come back and use the app, or you don't have to use the Get Touch app. You can just try to make money off of these people too. So that's another thing you can do. So what do I mean? Is that there's two groups of people. People who produce content, and the people who consume the content. These are the content producers. And these are the content consumers. Okay. So I think it's better to have a TikTok than actually use TikTok. If you have a TikTok and you're making stuff, it's much better than actually using the TikTok.
Yep.
So, okay. That's actually, I think, a good distinction too. What kind of how to use TikTok? You can either be the consumer of the TikTok or the producer of the TikTok. I think being a producer is actually is much better because at least you're not one of these people. I don't know. Okay, so all right. So we go back. So we say, all right. Let's go back. So do you see how we must use rhetoric? Like we have no choice but to use rhetoric. We have no choice but to use flashy words. We have no choice but to use marketing in a way, or in order to help. So, but we can use our rhetoric in a good way. So the idea here is rhetoric. Remember, when Socrates was debating with people, some people are using knowledge for the sake of like money or power or politics or influence or popularity or any other thing. And then the dialogue, the idea is that we use knowledge for the sake of knowledge.
Yep.
So one is kind of like rhetorical, knowledge for the sake of something else. And the other one, dialogue, monologue, is knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Knowledge so that we can challenge ourselves, grow ourselves. So we are always having to like go back and forth between these two perspectives. Because, again, we go back to the Brutus scene and we say, everybody's angry.
I will hear through this speech! Hear me for my cause! And peace, silence through the speech!
So some people want him to speak too, right? So for homework, maybe you can look at this speech and then compare it to Mark Antony. So this is like a learning opportunity, okay? You can look at these two speeches. So Mark Antony is Caesar's friend, okay? So Caesar's friend versus Caesar's son. Okay, they're gonna have a debate.
Yep.
And you can kind of compare the two debates if you want. And from these two debates, I think this is the best like rhetoric debate there is between these two. And this is from Shakespeare, actually. Okay? You can, if you want, you can compare these two speeches, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So you can look at these two speeches and find literary devices. I highly recommend this learning opportunity because it can connect us to so many other issues. So please, okay, so do it, okay? All right. So we did all that in order to understand. Okay, let's go back to this text now. Okay, let's see what was the connection here. So, okay. All right, so we were talking about what is the importance of the Vietnam War. The Vietnam, okay, let me draw it up. The Vietnam War is in the context of the Cold War. Okay? But the Cold War is also in the context of World War II. So what was the relationship between Cold War and World War II? Yeah, you're right. The Berlin Wall. You said it already.
The Berlin Wall, yeah.
And then World War II is also in the context of World War I. Okay? So World War II is kind of like an unresolved World War I. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the Cold War is kind of like an unresolved World War II. And World War I is actually an unresolved scramble for Africa. Scramble for Africa. Do you remember Scramble for Africa?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And then Scramble for Africa is under the context of colonialism.
Okay.
And you can see it's colonialism coming back around again to Vietnam. So what we're talking about really is colonialism. And so, and one of the aspects of colonialism we can use, like, for example, we can use China as an example, or even the Soviet Union itself. The idea was, and then here we have, it's in the context of the French Revolution. French Revolution. So what am I talking about? The French Revolution, people were fighting against the kings.
Mm-hmm.
And then at this time, they created the idea, or around during this time, they had the Westphalian state, Treaty of Westphalia, which says that a country has borders.
Yep.
Before this time, the borders of a country weren't so, weren't so 100% power. Most of the power was in the castle. That's where the 100% power is. You get what I'm saying? So history, we move from out of the border of the castle to the border of the whole country. This is the process of going from feudalism and monarchy into the Treaty of Westphalia, into the modern idea of a state. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is, because we saw that in the Scramble for Africa, is that when the countries start to take over all the land, then they start to see another country that's also taking on another, coming from the other side, and this guy's coming from this side, and then there's no more land left. And then here, okay, the problem of in between, right? Like the North Korea, South Korea border, or the Berlin Wall. Okay, this becomes like a really important place. You understand?
Yes.
And so one of the big questions about what to do with the people in between. What to do with the people in between. And that's what we have the idea of a camp. The camp is basically one way to deal with the people that we don't know what to do, who are on the border, whose allegiance is not on this side or on that side. Do you get what I'm saying? They have no loyalty for either side. If they wanted to, they could have had their own state, but they were too slow or something. Right?
Okay.
So what do we do with the in-between people? We send them to the camp. And so the earliest camps were done by the British Empire. Then the Germans learned from the British Empire, and they started the Holocaust with their camps. So the idea of a camp is kind of like how to deal with those in-between people. So unfortunately, Korea and Vietnam were two places that were on the split, right? North Korea, we have North Vietnam, right? And South Korea and South Vietnam. Unfortunately. So that's actually really interesting. Like these two places are, like the North Korea and South Korea are still at war, right?
Mm-hmm.
They never pieced
Never peace out.
They never pieced out, and there's like recently North Korea. I don't know. There's the war is still going on. Now it's getting worse, and now the war is in Ukraine too. You see, like it's getting really crazy. These these are still ongoing, situations from 100 years of unresolved stuff, right? So, yeah, it's very interesting. So Vietnam, unfortunately, that's what I mean by this idea. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
So for China, the question was kind of the same as the question of Caesar, right? When it comes to Mao. Because the idea is like, should China modernize?
Mm-hmm.
So if you modernize, what you're doing is you're killing your old culture, your traditional culture, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you are ready for the future to defend yourself against future colonialism. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you either have to, lose yourself in order to defend yourself. You have to lose yourself to defend yourself in a way.
Mhm.
And so this kind of question was asked for France. The reason why is France, right, was also many different places. France was also many different places. They had to unify under Paris. So Paris took over all of France to centralize, just like how China, Beijing, took over all of China to centralize, to defend against the outsider. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they have to kill all of the internal divisions in order to unite against the outsider. Right? So we're finding the same story happening again and again. Whereas it's France. The reason why France has to unite is because England and Spain united. The reason why Germany has to unite is because France united. The reason why Italy has to unite is because Germany united, right? So these are all processes of unification. So we can search German unification. Okay, the history of the uniting of all of these kingdoms into one country. Are you with me?
Mhm.
Same with Italian unification. Right? Do you get what I'm saying? Why all these places have to unify?
Yeah.
They all have to unify because the country next to them unified. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If the country next to them unified, they have to unify to defend themselves against the unification of the other country. Right?
Yes.
And same with, so every country has to do that. So now, if you're someone who is raised in Russia and you speak a minority language, but let's say, you know what minority language means?
Minority language.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
these,
the language is like spoken less in the area.
yeah, so there's like a bunch of these minority languages in Russia, but if you want to, participate in the economic power of Russia, you need to learn Russian. Do you get what I'm saying? So all of these minority languages, they don't learn the minority languages anymore. They learn the Russian language.
Yep.
So that they can participate in the Russian economy. Right? Same with minority languages in China, right? If you have a minority language in China, does it make more sense to learn your local, dialect where only, 100, 1,000 people speak it, or you want to learn Mandarin where, it's the most popular language in the world?
Mhm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So everyone has to kind of participate in the centralization in order to be part of that money. So we all kind of lose our culture. We all lose our specific cultures, and we gain the national culture instead, right? So national. We're doing. What are we doing? We're doing nation building, right? Nation building. You get what I'm saying? We're building the nation. We are slowly creating the culture that is the nation. The nation wasn't always there. We have to create the nation, right? Like India. Like India is extremely complicated and there's like so many different cultures in there, but we have to create this identity called Indian, right? So that some guy from this village and some guy from this village and some guy from this village will defend, if, China is going to attack will defend, you get what I'm saying? So otherwise, if we don't have an idea of a nation, people aren't going to die for the whole land. People will only die for their one village. Do you get what I'm saying? So people are willing to die for their family. People are willing to die for their village, but to get them to die for their country is the next step, right?
Yes.
That's how we can get our soldiers for our armies. So unfortunately, we have to do kind of this process of homogenization. Homogenization. Okay, you know what homogenization means?
Homogenization.
Homo means one. Homogenization, we make it.
One genetic.
Yeah, like it's like a homogeneous. Like, okay, let's see. Oops. Do you like scrambled eggs? Do you like scrambled eggs better? So this is a homogenized scrambled egg, and this is sorry, this is a terrible example. Heterogeneous scrambled egg. Okay, some people like scrambled eggs that are mixed more. That's one color, and some people like scrambled eggs that the yellows are separated from the whites. You get it?
Yep.
So that's when the yellows are separated from the whites, it's heterogeneous. When everybody has the same color, it's homogeneous. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make everyone the same. Okay? Now,
Yes.
with globalization, right, we're even having more homogeneity. So everywhere you go, every mall, every mall, are malls different than other malls?
Depends on the store.
I mean, pretty much
The same.
pretty much it's the same. I mean, my favorite mall is the Chongqing Mall. Have you been there? Chongqing Mall.
No.
It's crazy. It's a beautiful mall. It's like 20 levels. It's beautiful. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, it's just like an Eaton Center, but like bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like something completely new, right? Everywhere you go, every mall is more or less the same thing. Everywhere you go, every airport, it's pretty much the same thing, right? Schools are kind of the same thing. Everywhere is the same thing, kind of the same thing. So we can see the homogenization in culture even with TikTok now, right? If I go use like, I don't know, Filipino TikTok, or if I use like Chinese TikTok, or if I use Japanese, I don't know, Japanese TikTok, it's pretty much the same thing, right? Like, it's not like, sure, their languages might be different, and there might be like some, but there's also a level of homogeneity where everything kind of comes the same. You get what I'm saying, or no?
Yes.
So the sameness of culture is there's like this sameness of culture that's happening because we're all like capitalists, for example. We're all looking for money or something like. So okay, so we can see that sameness of culture comes back down to the danger of having one story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what's happening. We're kind of homogenizing everything into one story. And so what becomes really important is to have diverse perspectives and to think outside of the box. To think outside the box would mean to go out and actually find diverse perspectives. You have to think ourselves out of the line. Okay, we have to push back against this. So capitalism basically like forces us to be stupid, to forces us to look at things in one story. Why? Because it makes things easier. It makes things more convenient, and you don't have to think too much. So there's a lot of pros and cons for both directions. But as academics, if you can think of new ways of telling that story, you can come out of the box. You can also kind of make things more interesting. So what are we doing? Right now we're looking at another story. So the complicated aspect of the Vietnam situation is that a lot of people are like in between the two worlds, you know, like the thing about the Vietnam story is that you can read it from like the North Vietnamese side or the South Vietnamese side, and you can be sympathetic to both sides, you know, because you can understand the situation in both sides is that they're both sides are stuck in a hard rock in a hard place, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's stuck hard and hard and you know, rock in a hard place. So you know the hard place here is, you know, we have China on one side and we have let's say, you know, the communists or something on one side and capitalists on the other side, and both sides are doing bad things too. So you can see, so you can see the complicated aspect of this, right? It's much easier to have one story and say, oh, the other side is bad and good, or good and bad, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to say, okay, well, that was the bad side, this is the good side. But what we can learn from Vietnam is really like the complicatedness of. So Vietnam would be the newest version of, you know, Japan being stuck in the hard between rocks. Hard in the rock spot. Then China being stuck in a hard in the rock spot, and you know Germany, and even Germany, right? Like to look at it from their perspective, like every side, you know, France, you know, like then we can see like if we look at history like this, you know, things become much more complicated, much more interesting, much more. It's difficult to take a side. The morality becomes difficult. You get what I'm saying? So in a way, so Vietnam is probably the most. It's very heartbreaking, like the whole story that you are about to learn and read from this one person perspective. So because the story is so hard and complicated, we can use her perspective because, you know, she's Vietnamese, and hopefully she will have like a complicated perspective of both sides, and hopefully this book will be like good like that, and you're not emotionally attached to this as much as other issues, right? So this will be, because when we're emotionally attached, like if I was, you know, Russian and I tell you, you know, a lot of people, their local languages are disappearing in Russia, you know, I would be like offended or something as a Russian, like, no, they should learn Russian anyway or something, you know, like screw their local language or something. I don't know. If I was like a Russian nationalist or something, you know, right? On the other hand, if I'm like a diversity guy, I'm like, oh no, we should defend the local languages because local languages have like knowledge and whole culture that can be defended. That should be that could help humanity and something like that. So because we can see the two sides from outside, it's easier for us to reflect because it's something that's not, you know, part of our fight. It's the Vietnamese are fighting themselves, so then we can see this difficulty of both sides. Okay, so do you have any thoughts or questions?
No.
Okay, we should interrupt me and ask more. Okay.
Well, yeah, but like, I feel like you're explaining it pretty well. So.
Okay, so when you're reading, you should take notes, okay? And like while you're reading, take notes of all the symbols. Okay? The symbols are important. Like if I say Year of the Monkey here, if we're starting the story and it says Year of the Monkey, firecrackers. Okay?
Okay.
So, and then we have a very interesting word here, polyphonically. Okay, poly means what?
Poly means multiple.
Yeah, many. Phonic means what?
Phonic?
Phonic.
Phonic. Oh.
Phonics. You remember? Metaphor. It's the same full. Phonics is the letters tell you the sounds. Letters tell the sounds. Remember?
Yeah.
So pho means to carry. So metaphor means beyond the pho, beyond the letters telling the sounds, beyond the letters telling the sounds. When I say here is a banana, I'm not just saying here is a banana, I'm saying I love you, my monkey friend. You understand?
Friend, yes.
Okay, so here, long chains of firecrackers draped in front of houses exploded polyphonically along the sound of machine guns. Okay, so this first paragraph is filled with metaphors. Sound of machine guns, firecrackers, polyphonically, year of the monkey. So much is going on. There's a war. And there's a celebration.
Yep.
It's a very powerful first sentence. This seems like a really good book. I first saw the light of day in Saigon, where firecrackers fragmented into 1,000 shreds, colored the ground red like the petals of cherry blossoms, or like the blood of 2 million soldiers deployed and scattered throughout the villages and cities in Vietnam that had been ripped in two. Man, it's a hard book. I was born in the shadow of skies adorned with fireworks, decorated with garlands of light, shot through the rockets and missiles. The purpose of my birth was to replace lives that had been lost. My life's duty was to prolong that of my mother. Wow. It's so powerful. It's so powerful because you can see like the spirit of like Vietnamese people are, Vietnamese people are very powerful. Like they have been fighting, Chinese colonialism, French colonialism, like their whole country, like everyone's trying to take over all the time. And they've just been resisting a lot of different things. And now, like, it's such a tragedy, the Vietnamese situation.
Yeah.
My name is Nguyen. Everybody in Vietnam is named this. Nguyen. My mother's name is Nguyen An Tin. And my name is simply a variation on hers because a single dot under the I differentiates, disassociates me from her. Wow. I was an extension of her, even in the meaning of my name. In Vietnamese, hers means peaceful environment, and mine peaceful inferior. With those almost interchangeable names, my mother confirmed that I was the sequel to her, that I would continue her story. So you can see she starts with a duty.
Yep.
She has a duty. She has a duty to live, in fact, the duty to live.
Yes.
This is kind of like very powerful ancestor reverence. Okay, ancestral reverence. So you can see there is a little bit of a Chinese influence here in Vietnamese culture. There's always been a Chinese influence in Vietnamese culture too, because of Kong Zi. To respect our ancestors. The history of Vietnam, written with a capital H, thwarted my mother's plans. Do you get what I'm saying here? The history of Vietnam, written with a capital H. What does that mean?
History of Vietnam, written in a capital A.
H.
H.
What does that mean? In the context of what I've been telling you, What is the history of Vietnam? What's the?
It's like the fight between capital.
No,
No?
we said that was the one story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who is imposing the history of Vietnam with the capitals? It's some
The
guy.
winnings.
Yeah,
The
so
people that are trying to control them.
thwarted my mother's plans. That's so interesting.
Mhm.
So we can say the history of capital Vietnam. So maybe she's talking about the real history. Maybe she's talking about the actual history, the logos history, the multi-perspective of history, the full history if we knew everything. Thwarted my mother's plans. It means, again, we're stuck in a rock in a hard place. You get it? This is the theme I'm telling you. Rock in a hard place. You get what I'm saying? Like, history almost directs the plans that we were supposed to make. History flung the accents on our names into the water when it took us across the Gulf of Siam 30 years ago. Do you see, we're talking about how history flings the accent. History, the very language that they speak, right? The Vietnamese language is a product of different, again, China, like of all of these different kinds of colonialisms that are, right? That are being imposed on it from outside.
Yes.
So even the language is part of that. This is such a crazy book. It also stripped our names of their meaning, reducing them to sounds at once strange and strange to the French language. Imagine your own like name sounds strange to you. Okay, actually, a lot of you can imagine that because like you have an English name, right?
Yep.
And Kevin, what's your Chinese name?
崔宇晨.
Cui Yuchen. So I should, like a lot of my students, a lot of my Chinese students, like I have to remember two names or something, Kevin or Cui Yuchen, and like just whatever sticks, whatever stays in my brain first, I go with that. For you, I've been calling you Kevin for like a year, so
Yeah.
Kevin now. But Cui Yuchen is actually kind of nice. I don't know. Okay. So I mean, this text is filled with meaning. So you can see she worked really hard on this. That's why you're reading this. So there's so much, so much that you could talk about in every line here. So I gave you some ideas right here. So the blood. I mean, this one is pretty obvious reference here. The blood on the ground. Okay. All right. So let's end it here and bring me some questions for next time. Okay.
Yes.
All right. See you next time, Kevin.